Yo, what is going on, everyone? Guiding Light here, back with another God of War Ragnarok video. And in this one, I'm going to be showing you guys a build setup which will allow you to create an infinite healing loop and actually help you quite a bit to not die. So I'm going to talk about all the different armor that you want to run, the abilities and perks, and even certain amulet sockets that you can run to actually create an infinite healing loop and help you to not die in a lot of different areas in the game. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by using the Dark Dale plate. Now, if you don't have the Dark Dale set because you didn't get the deluxe edition, you can still use this method. However, it will be slightly less effective with other pieces of gear. So let's go start with the armor pieces. I'm going to start by maxing out most of the armor that I can. So drop a like on the video because I did drop over 100,000 hack silver in order to create this video for you guys. So to get started, what you're going to want to do is just equip both the Darkdale arms and you're going to want to put on the Darkdale chest if you have it. Now, if you guys don't have the Darkdale, just try to find any armor pieces which will increase your rage. Now, by putting on one piece of Darkdale, you're going to gain a 20% buff, but if you put on the gauntlets and the legs, you're going to stack that buff up to 40%, and that's going to make the big difference here. So if you don't have Darkdale, you can still do it with other pieces of gear, but I know a lot of people are going to have this Darkdale set at the beginning of the game, and so I want to show you guys a build that you can use pretty much right off the start of the game. Now, there's going to be a lot of other armor pieces that you unlock throughout the storyline by doing side quests. The gauntlets I'm going to show you guys are actually from a side quest. So you will have a hidden quest or a side quest that will start about halfway through the storyline where you have to collect a secret orb. Now, upon collecting this orb, there's going to be other armor pieces you can find in that very same area while completing that quest. And that is where I ended up actually getting the gauntlets from. So if you don't have the gauntlets yet, that's honestly fine. You don't actually need them. It's just a little bit of an extra buff to make this infinite healing loop even better. So what you want to do is max out the Darkdale set as high as you can. If you can't go all the way up to max level, that's okay. I just wanted to max it out so you guys could see the full effect of what I'm talking about. And it actually got to the point where I was honestly so powerful that it was almost hard to make the video because I wasn't even really taking very much damage at all. But for people that are a little bit of a lower level or taking lots and lots of damage, you will actually benefit from this even more. So if the gear is not as high of a level, that's honestly fine because you're still going to have all the same buffs. It's just that your defense and strength won't be as high as mine. So what you want to run for the gauntlets are going to be the Fate Breaker shoulder guards. This is going to make it so that once you return from rage, you will receive a buff to your strength, defense, and your runic, and it will also make it harder for the enemies to stagger you. So that's why we're going to be using this arm piece, because this build is kind of based around rage, and I'm going to show you guys how you can use rage to create an infinite healing loop and basically heal yourself every 20 seconds or less with this method. So now that we have the Fate Breakers guards pretty much maxed out, we're going to put those arms on, the gauntlets, and then we're going to put on the Darkdale chest and legs, like I mentioned before. So after you have these armor pieces on, what you want to do is actually go into your amulet, because there's a few more amulet perks that you guys can put on. Now, if you guys don't have the amulet unlocked, that's honestly still fine. But like I said, I want to show you guys the maximum effect that you can get from this build by playing throughout the game and unlocking more and more stuff. You're just going to continue to make this build stronger and stronger. So if you guys have the amulet essence called the Jotunheim's Essence, you're going to want to put this on. What this will do is increase Kratos' maximum rage depending on how much vitality you have. So the more vitality you have on your armor, the higher and higher the rage bar will go just based upon that. So it will also help to open up any Nornir chests that you see, because this build will be based upon rage, and I will show you guys how you can use the rage to actually create an infinite healing loop. So in order for this to work, what you will need to do is go into your Spartan Rage effects, and you're going to switch it over to Valor. Anytime that you pop your Rage bar with the Valor perk activated, it will give you guys health back instead of increasing your damage output. So the higher you can get this perk, the better. You're going to want to max this out as well. Using some XP, you can get all the way up to tier 3, and this will just make your healing effects even better. So like I said, guys, as you progress through the game, this build will only continue to get stronger and stronger. On top of that, what you want to do, if you have it, is put on the Grip of Healing Harmony onto your axe. This really won't make too much of a difference, as in most of this gameplay, I'm going to be using the spear, But if you guys like the axe a lot and use it as your main weapon, that's something you guys can use to make this even stronger. So now that we have the entire build set up with all the armor pieces and stuff, I'll show you guys how you can use this build to create an infinite healing loop to help you guys to not die whatsoever. Now, based upon how many rage bars you have, that's actually going to make this even stronger, but that's all you guys really need to worry about. So that's why we put on that amulet perk to actually increase our rage bar even higher. Now, if you want to take this another step further, you can even put on the relic called the Hilt of Graham. What this will do is every 100 seconds, you can pop this buff and it will actually grant you free rage over the course of about 2 seconds. So if you want to use this as well, you can make yourself even stronger and make the healing effects come by even faster. Now, this will be really, really easy to do. All you'll have to do is have the green arrows equipped on your second character. So depending on who your second character is, whether it's Artreus or not, you will be able to still do this. So just make sure that you have the green arrows equipped whenever you're trying to fight, and that's how you're going to make this work. So now that you guys have everything set up, I'll show you guys how to start the infinite healing loop. So we're going to start up a quick trial, and just so that we have a bunch of enemies to fight, so that I can show you that this can work just about anywhere. So when you start in a fight, you're really not going to have any rage, but I'm going to show you guys how you can use this to get a insane amount of rage very, very quickly. So what you want to do is you're going to use all 3 of your arrows on all the enemies, and then you're going to go in for the finisher. Now, in order to proc the finisher, all you'll have to do is take a quick look at the bar underneath the enemy's health. Instead of trying to kill the enemies, what you actually really want to do is just stagger them. You don't actually want to kill the enemies if you can help it. So focus on filling up that white bar. And that's why I said the stronger I got, the harder it was to actually do this, because I was killing the enemies so fast that I was not able to stagger them. But if you use the arrows instead and don't hit the enemies, it will be a little bit easier, just depending on how strong you are, to start farming up your rage. So all you'll have to do is simply proc those R3 finishers, and because of the armor that we have on, you'll notice how much rage I end up getting just for 1 kill. So within that 1 second or that 1 kill, I was able to fill up almost 30 to 40% of my rage bar. So within only 10 to 20 seconds, you can get an entire rage bar filled. On top of that, if you hold down L1 and then you press circle to pop your relic, you will get even more rage just for simply popping the relic, and that will respawn itself every 100 seconds. So in between the finisher moves, you can be popping that relic to charge up your rage even higher. Now, once my rage bar was completely full, I'm going to show you guys how I began to start this infinite healing loop. Now, I forced myself to take some damage because my armor was so strong that I really wasn't taking very much. But either way, I'll show you guys exactly how this will work if you're a little bit of a lower level. So once you become weak enough or you reach a point where you want to heal yourself or start the infinite healing, what you will do is allow yourself to take a little bit of damage, and then all you'll have to do is simply pop your rage effect. Now, when you pop your rage effect, you want to try to be somewhat close to some of the enemies so that you guys can actually get your rage right back after using it. So you'll notice there that I popped my rage to get some health, and as soon as I got out of rage, I immediately hit enemy with 3 arrows so that I could do my finisher move. Now, it's not necessary, but it's important that you try to do this as quick as possible so that you can instantly just get your rage right back and start up the infinite loop. So you'll notice that I already got all of the rage back that I used by just taking out 2 enemies within maybe 15 seconds. On top of that, you're going to have that buff that you get from the wrist armor, which will increase the rate at which the rage is gained when attacking the status affected enemies and when you're using the runic attacks. So you want to try to use your runic attacks once you get out of rage and you still have that buff activated so that you can just get the rage right back. So before I lose any health, I've already regained all of the rage that I used, and that is why I call this the infinite healing loop, because as soon as you come out of rage, you can get all of the rage that you use back within about 5 to 10 seconds, not take any damage at all, and just continue to keep popping it. So depending on how much health you need, you can just continue to pop that effect, but I don't suggest hitting it back to back. Instead, what you want to do is you want to use the ability once you're going to use the buff to get all of the rage back as fast as you can. Then once the buff is gone, you're free to pop it again because you'll get the buff right back and you can continue the infinite loop. Now, obviously, this will depend on how many enemies are around you, and that's really the only thing that determines how much you can heal. So the more enemies that are around you, the more you'll be able to heal. And that's why I actually think this is one of the best builds in the game. Now, obviously, if you're in a solo 1v1 boss fight, this won't be the best build. But for most of the game that has ad clear and one elite enemy, this is going to be very, very effective because you can use all of the ads to regain your rage, heal up as much as you want, and then you can go after the elites. Now, on top of this, you can also pick up the rage crystals from the ground. So if you don't end up using your finishers because you're killing the enemies too fast, or maybe you just haven't activated the finisher, you can still pick up the rage rocks that will drop on the ground, those red rocks that will drop. So keep that in mind as well, because you can use that to regain your rage as well if you aren't able to use any of your finishers. So one more thing you guys can do is, if you have it, go into your amulet and you're going to slot in the crest of Desperate Heroics. What this will do is when Kratos' health drops to a critical level, which is about 20% or lower, you will actually become completely invincible for about 10 seconds. So if you wait until you're below 20% health, and when that invincibility pops up, you can begin to heal while you're invincible. So you won't even have to worry about taking damage when you get out of rage. You can use the 3 arrows, and then you can finish off another enemy to regain all the rage. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. You've seen the gameplay. Let me know what you guys think about this build down in the comments, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.